All right. So, as I mentioned, Carina Bauer and the IMEX team have put out some really great research. They're talking about these things and why the business of events means business, and that people are really helping each other when they come together for conversation, camaraderie, and commerce. And of course, if you don't know IMEX, you have been living under a rock. It is our favorite giant industry potluck of the year. I think this year they broke records with 17,000 people at the Las Vegas event. And Karina, we are really excited to have you here and to share with us a little bit about what you're seeing for 2026. I know coming up in May, we're going to be in Frankfurt for the next IMEX, and then we have the October Las Vegas one again. Do we have Karina here? Hi.
Hello.
How are
Hi.
you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you, Liz?
It's absolutely spectacular. Okay, so 2025 was not the scary year that we were all anticipating. When we came to IMEX, we were a little afraid that no one international was going to be there and that the show floor was going to be empty, but it was a huge event. It was absolutely buzzing. One of my favorites, I think, that I've ever been to. How'd you feel about it?
Yeah, absolutely. We knew that people were coming into the show with that a little bit of trepidation about what they would see and find there. But we knew how the show was going, and we knew that despite all the headwinds and everything that's going on in the world, our industry was really coming out strong. So, yeah, IMEX America 2025 was the largest show we've ever run. Over 17,000 people, industry professionals there from over 100 countries. And I think what was interesting was, as you say, it was your favorite show. There was a really amazing vibe on the show
Mm.
floor. It wasn't just people being happy to be together, although we are, but there was a lot of business getting done. And so I think that's interesting because, nobody would say that geopolitics and the sort of macroeconomic environment is easy at the moment. However, there does seem to be a real acknowledgement, maybe in corporations and other industry sectors, of the importance of bringing people together face to face, of the importance of using events as a key marketing channel to really present your brand, and the importance of bringing your teams together for motivation, for celebration, or just to disseminate information more effectively. So I think we were seeing all of that come to play. And yeah, it was a great show. We enjoyed it, but ultimately we enjoy it if the industry enjoys it.
Yeah, well, absolutely. And I think the industry continues to show that they are enjoying it. So tell me, I have actually never been to the Frankfurt event. And last year, Nicole and Dave from Club Ichi went over. Tell me what I can expect coming up in May in Frankfurt.
Well, what I would say is both of the IMEX events are run on the same premise and the same model. We have large scale hosted buyer programs, we have destinations, cities, venues, the whole event supply chain from all across the world. But of course, they have different personalities, is what I would say. And, the Frankfurt show is more global in nature as well, because whilst the IMEX America is very global, a lot of the global brands or even global destinations are often represented by their US offices. And so in Frankfurt, you really have a smorgasbord in terms of that international flavor, and you feel the difference. Also, of course, the US area is much smaller in Frankfurt, which means the European area, the Asian area, the African areas of the show, or even Latin America are bigger at IMEX Frankfurt. And then on the education side, we also have a very strong education program, around 200 to 250 sessions, but different subject matter as well. So I think when you come to IMEX Frankfurt, you really get a sense of what's happening in the entire global industry, and you get a chance to meet people from all over the world in a bit more of a broad way, I would say, than IMEX America. And the city of Frankfurt is great in May as well. It's a key European city, and so you naturally get that different atmosphere as well. And we have some different sort of initiatives and educational themes that we'll focus on in Frankfurt versus America.
Event is going to take place pretty immediately after our big secret family reunion trip that Nicole and I will be going on. So May 1st through 8th, we're whisking 50 people away to a secret destination. We come back, catch our breath, and then go straight to Frankfurt to hang out with you guys. And I think we actually even get to do a conversation there of how you pull off a secret event. So we're excited to be part of the content this time as well. And then for Vegas this year, how are you feeling about this? So we just heard from Kevin and the Travel Association, and that things are booming. We don't seem to be having any challenges or issues looking for us in 2026. Are you totally sold out already?
Well, we always aim to make more space for people who want to participate. Yeah, we are forecasting for both of our shows growth again in 2026. We expect it to be maybe more moderate growth than we've experienced in 2025, but you never know. We'll always aim to respond to demand. The key thing for us is that we can, if there is demand to grow on the exhibit side, that we also grow our hosted buyer program as well. And so we'll have growth targets, and we do have growth targets in both areas. And for 2026, we'll be launching our new talking point, which is Design Matters. So we'll be talking all through the year. We'll be releasing white papers, and also a lot of the themes at the show. We'll have new educational tracks really focusing on design, not just from a look and feel perspective, but how do you really design the experience of an event? How are you intentional about the design of your business and of your personal and professional growth? So really thinking about design in all its aspects. So we're looking forward to covering that as well. Frankfurt itself is the World Design Capital next year. So we'll also be working closely with the city and also with the Design Council. They're actually in our offices next week. So yeah, lots of new things, and we'll be redesigning as well our educational areas in Frankfurt. There'll be some new initiatives and areas in America as well. So obviously early days for the planning for that still.
Well, I don't know. Early days, I know that your team is full force doing all of the things already. We're starting to see the emails. We also are doing our hosted buyer groups again. So we're going to be bringing 10 or 15 people to Frankfurt, and probably, I think we brought 30 last year to Americas. And so we're definitely doing it again. So if you have never been to IMEX, or if you absolutely love IMEX, join us at Colbici, become one of our hosted buyers so that we can all go hang out there together. So Carina, the IMEX event has always been kind of in the same location, but luckily the location that you had it in just keeps adding on convention centers. So we keep wondering if you are just going to have to put the little people on the big people's backs, or how you're going to keep expanding this thing. So how are you, man? You just said it yourself. You're like, we keep finding more space. How's that work?
Yeah, so it's a very good question. Our sales and floor planning team are very skilled at doing that. Mandalay Bay, obviously we moved from the Sands to Mandalay Bay just post-pandemic, and that allowed us to expand the show. So we have more space now that we can play with, and there are always ways, and this goes back to design, of events organizers, trade show organizers listening will know this. You have to work with that jigsaw puzzle, and there are always ways to work it, but it gets harder over time for sure.
Yeah.
And that's something that we're finding in Frankfurt. But for example, a couple of years ago, just post-pandemic, we moved all our education, lounge, and eating areas out of the main hall in Frankfurt into another hall just on the other side of a beautiful Galleria area. And that actually, from a problem, came a real opportunity, because that area and that hall has a completely different atmosphere, and we can design it beautifully, and it's a space where people can go and feel a little bit calmer than the main show floor. So people really love that. So I think sometimes out of issues, you can find these different opportunities and find new ways to work the space you have. And I think that's a good example. And going back to what you said, Liz, about, the hosted by program that you bring, obviously as Clubish, you do such an amazing job of really designing a fun program for people. And that's what we really love to see, giving your buyers a micro experience that's really personalized within the big trade show. And I think working with partners like you, that works really well for people to be able to experience the show in different ways that suit them.
Well, I have to say that that is genuinely what I appreciate about IMEX. I think that that opportunity to create micro events, to create these moments in this big, almost festival-like environment, so you don't feel like you're having to go to some giant 17,000 person event and make a friend or find someone on the dance floor. You actually can, you encourage the groups to bring in people that can, have their small hosted buyer groups or have their kind of micro moments in there. The ELX team putting their own content in the beginning of it and then rolling them out into the rest of the hosted buyer meetings. I think that it's just a beautiful, again, celebration of community, much like what we're doing today, but live and in person, and it's my favorite event of the year. So just continue to appreciate you and the team for everything that you put together for these programs. So one more question on the Vegas event. So we know that it is overwhelming and that we do have these little micro events. How do you recommend people who haven't been to IMEX to even approach it? Because when you go online or download the app, it feels like 17,000 things are happening. And to your point, what we like to do is say, here's what we're doing. Here are some opportunities, but not everyone is getting that opportunity. They're coming in and seeing it. So how should they approach it?
Yeah, if it's people's first time, I would really encourage them to go on our website. We have a whole page for first timers. We have webinars that we set up in advance of the show. We also do meetups early morning before the show starts, helping people to navigate the show, fact sheets. We try to, or something we started this year was trying to put people in touch with more experienced IMEXers, if you like, so that they can meet somebody before the show. So, and we've seen a real success in that first timers program, both at America and Frankfurt. And we can see it anecdotally, and we can also see it in our surveys after the show, that people who have used those resources and engaged with us like that really do have a higher satisfaction, because as you say, they're not going into this vast event feeling alone and overwhelmed. So we'll be expanding those initiatives for 2026 as well, and putting more resource into them to really help those people who are first timers. So if it's going to be your first time, make sure you look out for that. Look out on our website, on LinkedIn, on all our channels, and also, or just get in touch with us, and our team will point you in the right direction.
That's fantastic. And then you mentioned that you've got more research studies coming out. So I just saw the one that came out this morning about gathering makes people happy. So tell me a little bit about the forecast. What is coming out throughout 2026?
Yeah, well, the one that came out today was actually a review of 2025. So it's really fun, easy to digest. In 26, we will have 2 or 3 research studies, all focused on the theme of design matters and attacking that theme in different ways. So that's I know we're out of time, so that's a very brief overview, but look out for that. And we'll also have some new research working with a partner around our policy forum around advocacy, and how destinations have a new role to play in management of their destinations over and above just marketing. So again, but looking at it from that very intentional design lens.
That's incredible. And we are very excited to share all of that content with our Club Ichi members. So we're excited to see it come out, make sure that we get access to it and can drop it into the Slack channel and get all of our insiders first dibs on all this great stuff. Carina, really appreciate you taking the time to talk to me today. And I am excited to see you in Frankfurt and then again in Vegas and anything else that you can come to.
Thank you so much, Liz. And I'm very jealous about your programs. Have a great time.